Nature can be sometimes so unpredictable, we must admit. Actually, some storms with their immense power and capacity can totally ruin the planet and can absolutely turn the world upside down in a second if they want to. Throughout time, there have been a couple of storms that truly made a tremendous disaster in the world. From the tri-state tornado to the devastating super typhoon Nina. We now present to you the top 10 deadliest storms in the world. Just stay with us. Number 10. Labor Day Hurricane. At the time code 109, this hurricane happened in 1935, and it was considered as one of the most intense hurricanes ever. It created a landfall in the United States with speeds up to 200 miles per hour, which is quite surprising and terrifying. In August 1935, an enormous storm began off the coast of Africa. No one was ready to deal with this huge storm, even though they previously thought they were ready. They really were not. With such a strong wind, the storm blows everything away, including the cars on the roads, and even a huge train overturned. And that's really scary. This enormous and devastating storm killed over 400 people. Everyone will remember this huge and deadly storm. Number 9. New England Hurricane. At the time code 243, this was considered as the deadliest hurricane to hit New England ever. This was one of the strongest and most dangerous storms ever seen and experienced in this area. The New England hurricane caused more than $308 million in damage in 1938, which shows its strength and how powerfully it struck this place and left a huge mark behind. This storm happened almost unexpectedly. While people were enjoying the beach to seize the last days of summer, suddenly a storm flooded the whole place, leaving thousands of people homeless. This massive hurricane tore through Long Island, then Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. This huge and deadly storm killed more than 650 people and ruined more than 4,500 homes, more than 2,500 within a day. Number 8. Tri-State Tornado. It is devastating to know that the Tri-State Tornado achieved a speed of 62 miles per hour, which is also 100 kilometers per hour, and ended with a speed of 73 miles an hour, which is also 117 kilometers per hour. That is absolutely destructive, guys. That means that this tornado covered over 36 times more ground than a regular tornado actually does. It is incredible to know that some people said that this path is nearly a mile wide. That is devastating. This tornado is considered one of the most massive and most extreme ones in history. The EF5 unfortunately killed more than 695 people, most of whom lived in Murfreesboro, and was considered as the storm that caused huge fatalities, even in the United States. All in all, 2,027 people suffered very bad injuries, and plus the fact that more than 15,000 homes were destroyed makes this huge tornado the biggest and hardest ever. Number 7. The Bangladesh Tornado. Jabalpur was considered one of the most overcrowded places with the densest population ever. And on May 26, 1989, unfortunately, it was touched down by a huge tornado in the Manatganj district of Bangladesh. This is one of the most devastating tornadoes ever. It started from the East Jabalpur area to the severely drought-stricken areas of Saturia and Manatganj Sadar. Its length and extent were large, but the twister obliterated every structure within a radius of 2.5 square miles, or 6 square kilometers. This tornado achieved a speed of 10 miles, or 16 kilometers per hour, and was 1 mile or 1.6 kilometers wide. That is absolute destruction. This huge storm ruined more than 20 villages, guest residents, and a lot of homes and livestock. With approximately 1,300 deaths, this tornado is considered as the deadliest in history. Number 6. Hurricane Katrina. This storm forever changed New Orleans and the Gulf Coast region, and you're about to find out why. Hurricane Katrina began pending in the Atlantic in August of 2005, when the hurricane took its path near the Bahamas and spread to the Florida region. Hurricane Katrina's size and reach were outstanding. The Katrina hurricane surged through 30 feet or 9 meters in some places, which is absolutely devastating. The mixture of intense storm rushes in combination with the time-weakened levees caused disastrous flooding in New Orleans. And even further, approximately 80% of New Orleans lay underwater, up to 20 feet or 6 meters deep in some places, which is hard to believe, but it really did happen. This hurricane made enormous damage and killed more than 1,800 people in multiple states. It also affected the financial and economic situation in these areas. This is due to the complex interplay of lost jobs, missed revenue opportunities, and an estimated impact of $200 billion, which is almost unbelievable. Number 5. Iran Blizzard. The Iran blizzard dumped 10 to 26 feet or 3 to 8 meters of snow in the northwestern area and in the central and southern areas of Iran, completely blocking the roads and cutting off the cables and telephone lines. 4,000 villagers were trapped beneath this frozen cover of snow. It's crazy to know that the temperatures dropped down to minus 13 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 25 degrees Celsius, which is absolutely devastating. Some of the places were lacking water because of the frozen pipes. Even some areas reached a 100% infection rate. More than 4,000 people were killed by this destructive storm. When it comes to storms like these, we can absolutely do nothing. Nature has such a huge force that one can really be amazed and terrified at the same time. Number 4. The Galveston Storm. On September 8, 1900, a huge and destructive storm hit Galveston, Texas, and was considered as one of the deadliest natural disasters ever seen in the US domain. This storm made radical changes. Before the storm happened, the island city known to be home to 37,000 people and had an excellent economic perspective. But just the next day, its population dropped to 31,000 and the city fell into absolute bankruptcy. And all of that happened because of this Category 4 hurricane that hit with a 140 mile per hour or 225 kilometers per hour winds and was 15 feet or 4.5 meters high. This deadly storm destroyed more than 3,600 buildings and made the whole island become submerged. It is devastating to know that this huge amount of water spread over 12 city blocks, and also 3/4 of the city had been washed away. In the meantime, people were fighting for their lives. This was a really difficult situation. The storm was one of the gravest and most hazardous ever seen. Number 3. Hurricane Maria. At the time code 515, this enormous hurricane happened in 2017 in Puerto Rico and caused a lot of damage. It is also known as the worst natural disaster in history, causing a lot of destruction, death, and immense natural chaos. This tropical storm suddenly became a huge hurricane, and this storm caused a huge mess and even a blackout in this area. It is devastating to know that approximately 7,000 houses were left without power for over a year. Can you imagine how hard it was for them to survive in those bad conditions? We are not sure about the number of deaths this hurricane had caused, since it remains as a huge controversy. The Puerto Rico government affirmed 64 deaths, but afterward, the number was contradicted with deaths from 500 to more than 4,600, which is very sad to know. Hurricane Maria will forever be remembered and sealed in the history of Puerto Rico and beyond. Number 2. Hurricane Mitch. This is considered as one of the worst hurricanes to ever strike the planet. It happened on October 26, 1998. When Mitch slammed into the northeast coast of Honduras, the storm reached winds of 180 miles per hour or 290 kilometers per hour. Huge flash floods hit Central America, from devastating avalanches to mudslides that totally destroyed the coastal regions, especially in Honduras. It is devastating to know that this enormous storm killed over 11,000 people, especially those in Honduras and Nicaragua, and thousands went missing. This terrifying and deadly storm has done enormous damage, both natural and financial. In Honduras, this storm left the country in a tragically bad condition where they needed $1.7 billion to revive it. Number 1. Typhoon Haiyan. The Typhoon Haiyan is known as the deadliest typhoon in the Philippines, which also made landfalls and caused so many other catastrophic damages. The Haiyan destroyed parts of Southeast Asia, typically the Philippines. This devastating typhoon killed more than 6,300 people, which is catastrophic. Furthermore, Haiyan is considered to be the strongest and hardest landfall tropical cyclone in history. These major storms are frightening. This storm sustained winds of 230 kilometers per hour or 145 miles per hour, which was the highest reading of the storm. It is interesting to know that this deadly storm is also considered as the strongest tropical cyclone ever due to its crazy wind speed. This catastrophic typhoon caused enormous destruction in the Visayas, especially in Samar and Leyte. According to the UN officials, approximately 11 million people were affected, most of whom were left absolutely homeless. This true and devastating story is truly moving, we must admit it. It will for sure stay in our memories for a long time, don't you think so? Guys, that'll be it for this video. We hope you are content with the information we provided you. Please feel free to comment in the comment section below if you have any further information about these life-threatening storms from our video. We would love to know more. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thrilling info like this, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of them. And of course, we thank you so much for being with us. We are here for you. See ya in our next video.